where did I leave off last time I tried to do this? Okay, this is what I have. Dark mode's a little better. My brightness not high enough. What was I trying to do? Let me see. Oh, I was looking at the hints. So hint 1, brute force, which was, I think you calculate every possible price. I mean, I couldn't even do that one. Okay, hint 2, you buy a price and sell at a higher price. Wait, you should buy at a price and always sell at a higher price. Can you iterate through the array with index I, considering it as either the buying Wait a minute. Okay. Let's go back to the whiteboard. I think I know how to solve this. Okay, we'll scrap this, except for, oh, let me make this darker too. Is that, I wonder if that looks purple. Okay, I'm gonna take these pointers. What am I thinking about? You know what, scrap the pointers. We'll take this though. Come on. We'll just move this, coming with us. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Can I pick my color? I do want a white. What? Why can't I do white? Here it is. I'll do my bag too. Okay. We'll just do this gray looking color, I guess. Really want white. Okay, what was I thinking? That second hint. Can we have like, I have a buy variable, set the buy at a really high value. Same thing we had last time. And we'll have a sell at a really low value. So ideally, we want to sell at a really high price, right? So stonks, right? Okay. Can we do this? Wait, what was the constraint? Something about returning 0 if you can't make a profit? So it says you may choose to not make any transactions, in which case the profit would be 0. Let's have another variable called profit. Set it to 0. Okay, wait, let me check something real quick. Yeah, I think setting profit to 0 makes sense because eventually if we cannot make a profit, we just return that. I'm still trying to think how a sliding window would work. Because what I'm trying to whiteboard does not use sliding window. I'm trying to do it with just one pointer. Give me 1 second. I'm just editing the live description. Also, this question is best time to buy and sell stock. Let me add it onto the chat. I don't know what is the actual Leetcode question for that. The Leetcode number. Like 800 or is it 50 something? Oh, it's 121. There it is. Okay, just in case. Last time someone asked. And yeah, if you could solve it, let me know, because I can't. Also, I'm going to reset the question in Leetcode. Okay, let's continue. So okay, at each value, we want to buy low, right? Initially, our lowest value, our buy value is infinity. And then that will ensure that any value we see in the array will get set to a buy. So initially buy gets set to, write it here, or let me just move this. Buy gets set to 10. So we'd have 10. And it could be a condition. Let's see. And I guess sell would also be set to 10, right? Because 10 would be higher than negative infinity. then what happens as we go down? As we go down, I think we have to reset. Wait, we have to check. I think we check the profit at that value, at that point. So we want to buy at a low we want to buy at a low price. The next day we see a lower price than 10. So we want to update our buy. Now for our sell, we can only determine if we update sell if the profit is greater than 0. Let's see. What do we do? Right? Actually, it's buy minus whatever I is. Okay, so we have a profit of a negative value. So we should not make the transaction. I think we do this first, right? Before we update buy and sell. Yeah, I think because this equation tells us if we buy, but it's just checking the day after. How do we check future date? Well, buy would be our lowest price, right? So eventually, let's see. What happens if we keep going? It's negative, so profit stays at 0. And because we have a negative number, we can set this. Actually, I think we can just leave it at infinity. Or negative infinity. Okay, and then at the next value, -1, we update buy if the value is less than whatever buy was, which was 10 previously. So buy is now 1. That's our new lowest price. And before we update sell, we want to check. Well, we can't update sell because we just updated our buy. So that means when buy gets updated, then our current index becomes the new starting position, and we can continue traversing. So let's see. Let's say we go to 5. By the way, buy is 1. Price would be 5, right? It's negative, so sell doesn't get updated. Profit still stays at 0. Can move to the next one. 6, not less than our lowest value. So we can calculate profit, is still 1. This times 6, even lower, so it's still negative. Yeah, so profit stays at 0. And sell stays at negative infinity. You know what? I don't even think we need a sell variable, because this one's acting like the sell. Actually, we might need a sell to hold the highest profit we've made so far. Okay. So at 6, no update. Profit's still at negative. Actually, why would it be negative? I'm doing the math wrong. It should be the other way, right? I think it should be flipped. Hold up. Reset this. Okay, so when we start, we set the buy price only if the current index is lower than our buy price. Initially it would be infinity, so it would be set. Then okay, so every time we set the buy, we don't do anything else but continue iterating. So now we could go to 10. Sorry, we could go to 1. Okay. Then at 1, we check if our current buy value is greater than the next day's buy value, which it is. So we want to buy at the lower rate. It becomes 1. Okay. And so because buy was updated, we just continue. So now we're at 5. So this condition does not get updated. Buy stays at 1. So we have to then calculate the profit. So we would do, right? Our profit is 4. So that's our like sell or highest profit. Is probably a better variable name for this thing instead of sell. Sell is more like what's the value you're selling at. So I think it's a wrong name for that. But we made a profit, right? So we bought yesterday at $1. We sold today for 5. We made a profit of 4. So 4 is going to be our highest profit thus far. Initially, our highest profit was negative infinity. And so now it's 4. Or maybe we can put it in profit. We'll see. We'll put it in sell for now. Okay. So we could continue down the array. Okay, next we have 6. So we do the math behind that. So the current value in the array minus our lowest buy price. Okay, our sell price, now we have a bigger profit, 5. Buy is still not updated, so we're also checking buy every time. We're checking if each value will update our buying price. Then we have 1. So buy gets updated. Technically, we don't have to update because we're at the end of the day. We're at the end of the price range we want to check. So we could just say like, if we're at the end of the array, then there's no point to continue processing the algorithm. I think we could just stop there. I think this works. Should we try it? See. Okay, wait, am I sharing my screen? I'm gonna take this. Okay, maybe I write an outline here, what I want to do. this might break in some like weird edge case or something. Because I think part of the problem is like, okay, no, I was thinking like space had to be O of n, but it looks like the recommended is O of 1. So we should be able to do it by just using the parameter. Yeah. Let me change the color on this real quick. Oh my god, I cannot think. We'll have, let me see. Highest price. No, we want to store the lowest price in this far. And we also want to store the highest price. And we want to store, what else? I think that's it. We could store the current price. We don't really need to, but okay, so for this one, oh man, we're gonna call it buy. How do you set it to infinity or like a really big number? I might have to check documentation. Really big int. I can't remember. Word. I just want like a wait, what is the constraint? Okay, so the price is going to be between 0 and 100. So we can just say like 101, I guess. Because anything is going to be lower than that. And then, so for the lowest price, we just have to do -1. Actually, it's not even stores the highest price. It stores the highest profit. We're going to call it H profit. -1 because it said each, wait, actually this one should probably be really big. -100 and 1. Right? But we're only storing positive numbers. So initially it could just be -1, I think. Once we get to negatives, if it's a negative, we're not going to store it. So it doesn't really matter. Actually, I think it could even be 0. Because if we always see negative numbers, then we can just return this variable. Where's the current price? So, okay, for this one, this has to be like inside the loop, I think. We're just gonna do like -1. No, sorry. Cool. Is it green in here? Oh. Wait 1 second. Where's this monitors? Okay, what's happening? So I'm gonna call this, I'm gonna call it curve. Cool. Okay, there is this weird condition, so I think I could check this thing first. So yeah, the condition is like if prices at I, if the last value is less than buy, which buy is already our lowest value, then we can just return H profit. Yeah, essentially, I think if it's less than or equal to, actually. So my reasoning for this is that if buy was our lowest value seen so far, actually, I'm also doing this wrong. It should be like a 2 thing where I'm checking like that the index is the last one. Yeah, so we're checking 2 things. We're checking that we're in the last index. So we want to say like if I is equal to prices.size, and that the value at the last index is less than or equal to buy, then we return the highest profit we have saved so far. So the logic behind this is that if the last index is lower than buy, then buy, and buy is already our lowest value, then there's really no reason to process it, because if it's lower, then we know that our profit is going to be it's going to be negative. And if it's equal to, then, I mean, we know it's not going to be a profit, it's just going to be 0. And if we have not seen if we have not made a profit by that point, H profit is already 0. So there's really no reason to like calculate it even. We could just return each profit. So again, like if the last value in the array is equal to buy, like in our case, the example where we had 1, we seen that lowest price, buy price in the second day, then we seen 1 again in the last day. You know, the profit there would have been 0. So there was really no reason to process it. And if it would have been like a lower value, there's still no reason to process it because there's no days after. You know, like I think we also know that the prices are never going to be negative. Yeah, the prices are going to be from 0 to 100. So there's never going to be like a negative buy price. So I think this works. Like let's say our lowest, our buy was 2, and then the last value in the prices vector was, let's say, 1. Yeah, that would have given us a negative value, so there was no reason to calculate that. Anyways, okay, I think we want to check that condition. Probably like a way better way to do that, but that's the way I'm thinking about it. So we want to store the current price. We always want to check if we update buy. So by updating buy, we could disregard anything we've seen so far. Meaning sell becomes -1 again. Or sorry, high profit becomes 0. Because we just, right? Wait. I guess we could save, because we might see a lower buy value and then never see a really high value afterwards. But that doesn't mean that in the array we've never made a profit. So maybe we want to save the highest profit, so H profit, and then we want to save like running profit or something, I don't know. Or current profit or whatever. So The highest profit will be checked against running profit, but every time we see a new lower buy value, we are gonna reset running profit. So let's see. Yeah, so we could say if, yeah, if current is less than buy, then we can say buy is equal to current, new lowest price, and then we continue. Is it continue or break? I think it's continue. Oh wait, and we also have to, we said that, and then we also said running profit to 0. So we update our new lowest price, and we update our running profit. Okay, the other condition is so I should probably, okay, we're gonna calculate profit equals current minus right? So if profit is I'm just gonna write it how I whiteboarded it. So if profit is greater than Yeah, if it's greater than running profit, and we'll update running profit. Is it less than or equal to? We do another condition. Running, so if high profit Okay, I need some other tests. Let's see. Try this one. Oh. I need some other cases. Let's see. I'm just gonna run it. Oh my god. Okay. It was not that bad. What is the last hint? Look at the video.
Hey everyone, well,
Jeez.
welcome back and let's write some more neat code today. And don't forget to hit the like button, it supports the channel a lot. So today let's look at Leetcode 121 best time. Well, it turns out we know that time moves in one direction, right? We can't go back in time to sell at this price. So how are we going to solve that problem? Well, there's a pretty common programming technique, 2 pointers. So we're going to initialize a left pointer on day 1 and our right pointer on day 2, which makes sense. Right is going to be to the right of left. Why would I pay 7 when I could wait 1 day and pay 1? So that's basically how the algorithm works. Since our right value is less than left, we're going to update our pointer left. So left is now going to be on day 2 and right is going to be on day 3. So now we see we're buying 1 and we're selling at, I think this is 4. So we know 4 minus 1 is 3, not greater than 5. So our algorithm is complete. We found our max profit of 5. And if we want to know the memory and extra space we used,
I don't know. All I know is I did it right. And it's done. Is it the fastest? Probably not. Not the slowest though. So it's a plus. Okay. I think that's it for today. I'm starting the lighting window. I'm also doing like code path, which is starting on June 5th, I think it is. I'm kind of excited. We'll probably go through a bunch of these much faster. I've been doing it for what? 3 weeks? Yeah. Not too bad. Been taking my time. I would say I have not been as consistent. Okay, some of these days I actually did them, just not on live. And yeah, they just like, I just wasn't feeling it, but I still try to do it, but they don't count as a submission because you get them, unless you get them right. Which I think, like, you know, if you go to the gym and you walk around instead of like lifting weights, I think you still kind of showed up. So I'd say it counts as something, you know, but they care about like submitting correct answers. And the time it takes me to actually solve these without looking at the solutions takes too much time. So like for these days, I just like I tried something and it didn't work and I just bounced. I was like, I'm out of here. Let's see this one too. Yeah, I tried something on there too. Like I wasn't live, but I was like, let me try to solve this really quick. I don't know why I always think that. I always think like, let me try to solve this really quickly. I cannot solve it really quickly. I mean, when I'm on live, it takes me like over an hour to solve it. But in what mind would I be able to solve it really quickly? Anyways, yeah, I think dynamic programming. Let's see. I have to review this dynamic programming. Okay, I think that's it. So I'll leave the music running a little bit and then that'll be it.